Greeting everyone. This is Tiger Captain, and I thought that I'll make another tutorial because heck, it's 12:30 and tomorrow's July 4th, or today is July 4th, and I decided to post another video just for the heck of it. What we're going to be covering today is just a simple door script, something very easy that I'm sure most of you have made or know of how to make. It's very simple, but it uses a lot of complex scripting techniques, I suppose. Very simple idea. You know, you open the door, you close the door, and it closes on its own. You touch the red part, you can walk through it, and all that fun stuff. Now, that being said, there is a little bit of a. Oh, that's actually quite interesting. I know how to fix that too, how it kind of cracks open there for a second. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. It's very simple, and you think, oh, Tiger, we've done it all the time. I've seen it all over the place. It's not that hard. Well, you say that, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys anyway, so you can see instead of just doing it hard coded and trying to make it very messy script, you want to make it more sophisticated. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. First off, I'm going to show that this is the script I already wrote, but I'm going to go ahead and build it for you anyway. And this is the really cool part about the whole design. You can make it however wide you want it. So if I wanted a really wide or massive door, then I can just go ahead and straight up do that if I so desire. I'm just gonna, it doesn't have to be red, but I like to make it stand out so people know that, you know, it's not supposed to be there, just for the sake of, you know, simplicity. But other than that, you can pretty much categorize make however you want it. You can make a really tall door, but I'm making it really wide because YOLO, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and just get that set up. I would pause the recording, but unfortunately, I don't know if I can do that currently with the software, but c'est la vie. It's not exactly that intensive, you know? It's just a simple door, massive, wide door for no apparent reason. Alright, so this is the important part about this script. You have to name this part in particular the floor mat, or just mat actually. This one's going to be post. Actually, we're going to make it, we'll make it the same one, just for consistency. Post, and then door. Easy as that, right? We group them together, and we're just going to call it door frame, right? So you think, oh, that's easy, you know, now you just got to add a script to it, right? Well, yeah, I mean, sure, we can just add a script to it, but I want to avoid copy pasting the same scripts, and we'll go into that later. But for now, we'll just go with it and say, this is good enough. Are they anchored? That's actually quite an important question. Yes, they are, but not all of them are can collidable. Right, let's take that can collide true. All right, let's see what happens when I run it. So this is a door I literally just made, and just put the script I made in there and see what happens. Look at that. Isn't that kind of cool? You can go ahead and ride that on the way out. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So it's literally a door that we just made and just put the script in there, and it just works miraculously without having to edit any values inside. How does that work? Well, let's go ahead and open up a script, shall we? As you see before, this is very simple if you can see it. Sorry for the low resolution. I have to zoom in on a stinking monitor capture because it won't capture the game window for some reason. Anyway. I have a function here called add door where I literally just say add door script.parent. That's important later for modularization. But for now, I say give it a model. First it finds a door, post, and mat. If it can't find any of them, if not door and post and mat, so basically if one of them does not exist, then just cancel it. It's not a real door. Just forget the whole thing, right? Then we have some Boolean variables saying that if we are already in transit, then don't then set it to false. This is an important bit, the offset. This door C-frame basically says how far away I am from the post. So this is important later. Then I have a function, and then I have a transit function, and then I have a touched function. So let's start here because it's the most common one. When you touch the mat, first, is it a humanoid? Secondly, if you're not moving currently, this is the important bit so you don't have glitching doors. If you're not in transit, then go ahead and say you are in transit. And I have some variables here that's hard-coded currently, but you'll see in a second. Transition time, which is 1 second, and then the door open time, which is 2 seconds. It goes ahead and calls the turn function, transit time, which is, 1 second, and then it waits 2 seconds, and then it closes. How do I know it opens and closes? There we go, close. Because I have a variable true and false here. Why does that make an importance? Tiger, I will tell you. Turn. This is the fun one. This is the one that makes it all mathy and really complicated for new beginners, but it's important. Turn. Transition time, which we know is going to be 1 second, so it's going to take 1 second to open the door, and then is going forward. Well, okay, so I'll get to that in a second, but it uses a interesting trick using run service. Run service has a stepped function which you can use on the servers to run every server frame, which is not generally good. Um, if you have really laggy servers, then it could be very stuttery, and in that case, you may want to change over to local doors and have local connections, but that's a whole nother story for replication that's not going to be in this video. Anyway, so what happens is at every single server tick, I'm going to go ahead and get the delta time based off of the transition time. So basically, this is going to go from 0 to 1, right? So this is going to be your alpha. This is going to be A, goes from 0 to 1. This just basically says if it takes the time between when you started and when you're currently running. X is just another variable I use to determine whether or not if I'm going to be opening the door or closing the door. It's very simple. If I'm going forward, then it's going to be I. So it's going to go from 0 to 1. But if I'm going false, which is backward, then it's going to be 1 minus I, which is going to go from 1 to 0. So 0 to 1 for forward, 1 to 0 for backwards. Very simple. And this is the fun one. Door.cframe is equal to post.cframe times the angle at which it's going to be turning, which is 90 degrees, math.pi times 5, 90 degrees times x, which is, as we mentioned before, 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. And then we have that beautiful offset that we first learned. That offset basically makes the door not be inside the post, but rather shifted out to the center. Now, going back to the original one, if I'm going to be I is greater than or equal to 1, basically it's time's up, then go ahead and disconnect and wait. Because this runs on its own thread of sorts, it's run on hooked on the render frame, so it's gonna run and keep going. We're just gonna wait until this ends, and then when it's done, it'll run onto the next function and repeat itself, but with this time going backwards. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we noticed that there was a crack coming out when it was on the way out and on the way back. That is an easy fix. I just got to take the C frame, and when it's done running, set it to its a full value, which I'm going to go ahead and just have here local x equals, and it's going to be is going forward, and I, which would be 1 or 0. And then it's just going to say x, and it's going to say, all right, open or close, and it's going to stop there. So that's going to save that some time. Now, I believe, is this the right script? Yes. All right, so how are we going to fit this into modularization? Because that's important. You don't want to have a ton of doors with a bunch of these scripts in it, right? You don't want to have to remember to update every single one of them. That's lame. You don't want to do that. What we can do instead is use that function here inside of a module. So what if we were to go ahead and put that stuff into a module right here, module, and say module.addDoor. It's the exact same code, it's just put into a module. Alright, so the module addDoor. There's many other ways you can use object-oriented, but for right now, this is just for the simple, easy bits, right? We're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. Which one has the one with the proper, this one? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and delete the script. And we're going to move this into server script storage, and instead of running all this stuff in here, which I need to move into the module actually, there we go, put this right here. See, imagine if you have to do that every single time. That'd be so tedious. We're just going to say require script wait for child module. Now obviously you want to choose a better name. Choose your names wisely, kids, it's important. Module script, all right, cool. And we're going to put that to a variable, local door opener equals, all right? But then we want to do that for every single door, so we're going to go ahead and group these together inside of a folder, right? And we're going to just call this doors. I'm going to move both of these inside of here. All right, so now notice that there are no scripts inside of them, none whatsoever. For Ivy and pairs, workspace, wait for child doors, get children, do. Basically for every single door opener dot, what was the API? Add door. and we just feed it the model v. Now, in the case that you don't know this, is a very common technique to just say, hey, for every single object, get children. So for every single one of the children of these doors, we're going to call that module and say add door of that object. And if I were to go ahead and press play, let's see what happens. All right, it's 10 minutes and 20 seconds into the video, and looking pretty good. I think it's looking pretty good. Yeah. And that red bar isn't causing it to glitch out when I press one versus the other. And the cool thing is, we can have as many of these as we, oops, that's not what I wanted. And any of these as we want. So we can go ahead and just bring some of these out here, you know, and have a ton of doors. How's that sound? Doorception mania. Let's go ahead and list them all out. None of them have scripts in it, but whenever we want to update it, we can do it all at once. Oh, that's probably the wrong place we want to start at. Boink, boink, boink. All right, let's go ahead and just walk through every single door, and they all work exactly the same way. And of course, any size will do. So that's probably going to conclude for today's scripting lessons. We just covered a simple door, you know, what you do to modularize code, which is always nice. And if we want to say make it faster, we want to make the door open, you know, 0.3 seconds, and we want to hold for 3 seconds long. We can do that too. We just gotta, I'm just gonna actually move my spawn look. Actually, you know what? It's gonna take too long just to put in a spawn location, so I'm just gonna move these down here because I'm lazy. But seriously, we only added one line of, edited one line of code, 0.3 seconds, and boom, it opens much faster. Doesn't that look nice? Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.